Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And technically, the live stream is still going for the JP version, but they're doing some, shenanigans over there. But we do have the English developer diary, which will get us started with a lot of information with this new update. And there is quite a bit. Now, this global one doesn't talk about as much, I guess, as the Japanese version. So once the Japanese version is done, I'll probably make a cut and then go back through everything that wasn't touched on from the global version. But we have the game and character updates. We have a roadmap sneak peek. We have the 700-day release anniversary, which is technically going on right now. I didn't cover it last night, but we do have stuff in the game. So we have the release campaign, which is just the once per day daily single, and then a login bonus for tickets. The only 5 stars you can get on this are ones that have current skill fusions, so it is kind of limited, but also like you need them to be 100 to skill fuse. So I guess if you pull them and you need them, then cool beans. But I mean, that's going on right now, and then the second anniversary is coming. So let's go through, let's get the new stuff out of the way. Here is the image for the new meta. It is kind of Halloween themed. We have Milim, Shinsha, and Ranga in the background. And if you recognize that gear, that is from the free-to-play teaser. So Ranga is here, and also fucking Rigard got a unit. Let's go. Alright. Let's move on. So first off, we have Battle Unit Shinsha. 5-star, it's another water unit. Like, they cannot stop putting water units out. And Earth is just sitting there in the shithole. But she is on Wielder of Magic, which is the new meta, primarily. She's on Hyper Heart and Wholehearted Devotion. Okay. Her first skill... They don't have the skill costs here, but both of these skills cost 25 points when they're fully done. So she increases magic characters' EX alt damage by 50%. So you have 2 conditions here. They have to be a magic character, and it has to be an EX alt. Right? It can't be a normal alt. Otherwise, you just won't get 50% buff on it, which is terribly restrictive, unfortunately. I'm not really a big fan of that. She increases her own attack by 15% for 1 turn, but every time you use an orange orb, you increase this attack stat by 2%. An orange orb, not a skill, right? Not every time you use a skill it goes up, like, we got Milim with her crit damage and Xion with her pierce damage. No, every time you use an orange orb, you get 2% attack up to the end of turn 4. So this is a burst team, and it is a orange burst team. Haven't had an orange meta in quite a long time. So, the novelty is here, I guess. Her second skill increases orange damage by 100% for 2 turns, and orange protection gauge increase by 60% for 2 turns. So, when I was talking about whenever we would get an orange meta next, I said it's like, in order to make it, even slightly good, you have to be able to buff the orange orbs for a lot. Damage, fine, whatever. But protection gauge increase, oranges doesn't give shit for protection gauge. So a 60% buff here is good. I still wish it was higher. But I mean, if you combine this with like the charm, blue gauge on oranges, I think that can pump it up to 100%. So, I mean, that will be nice. She is a single target water magic unit, 510%, no additional effect. She is pure damage. She is the nuker because she's got this stacking attack buff for herself only. Plus, she's got this restricted alt damage buff. Not really too big of a fan on that. We'll wait for the animations. Moving on, we have Protector Milim. Another Protector Milim. And this proves the devs have almost no imagination when it comes to orange metas because she is literally Hakuro 3.0. So she changes 3 greens and 3 blues into 6 oranges. So, oh my god, who does that? What protectors do that? Let's take a look real fast. Protection characters. Toa. What does Toa do? Oh, she changes 3 blues and 3 greens into 6 oranges. Weird. What does Hakuro do? Oh my god, what does Hakuro do? Oh, he also changes 3 blues and 3 greens to 6 oranges. Interesting. Also, Milim gives you 40 skill points. Hakuro gives you 40 skill points. Toa gives you 40 skill points. They have no imagination for orange metas. But the difference between the 3 and this Milim is that she gives magic allies guaranteed pierce for 2 turns. So it is a burst orange pierce team. And I'm honestly not really feeling it. Orange metas are so far and few between. Most of the stages in the game are built for orange or green teams, which means orange orbs are generally pretty nerfed across the board in, I would say, 80% of content. And even with, you know, the Shuna buffs going right here, it's like, it's just not efficient to run it. You'd rather, you know, there are other protectors, and you're not going to be able to, you know, fully maximize the skill on Shinsha by sending orange orbs if they're nerfed. You don't want to send orange orbs if they're nerfed. So I'm not feeling it. I'm not really feeling the outfits either. Like, even, like, I love myself some Milim, but I don't really care, right? It could just be me. So, triple orb changer, or 3 and 3 into 6 oranges, guaranteed pierce for 2 turns for magic allies, and then 40 skill points. Toa, Hakuro revamp, I guess. And then she gives extra damage to fire enemies for Wielder of Magic, which means that we still don't have an EX protector that gives extra damage against wind. So what do you think the anniversary is going to do? What do you think the anniversary is going to do? When's the last time we got a space unit? Huh? Oh, well, I mean, we got one. We got Raphael, but like he's defense, right? He's not a nuker, and he was not on a team that gave extra damage to wind. So, fairly certain we know what the theme, or at least what the meta typing is going to be for the anniversary now. But, you know, we could be wrong. Could be very wrong, who knows. Then we have free-to-play battle unit Ranga, who actually seems to be decent, which is good, because I'm all for free-to-play characters being good and useful. He is dark. He is also on Wielder of Magic, Tempest Elite, and Warrior's Mind. Warrior's Mind. So, an interesting choice there. But he changes Wielder of Magic orbs, 2 of them, into oranges, which, when we cut to the JP livestream, will be relevant. And then increases all orange gauges by 10% for 1 turn. His second skill increases all magic allies' pierce power by 30% for 2 turns, which goes, you know, well with Protector Milim giving magic allies pierce rate. And then increases orange skill point increase by 50%. So because Milim isn't giving you that extra buff that, you know, like Toa was giving, 40% skill point gain, Ranga does it instead for 2 turns, which is nice. Pierce power, and this skill I believe is 15 points, and the orb change is 25. So a 15 point cost for 30% pierce power and 50% skill point increase is actually not terrible. It's not bad. And then he's an AoE dark magic to 90%, and then counter power by 15%, which probably has no bearing, since this is a burst damage team, and counter power is only good for defense teams. And then we have Rigurd, his first meta unit, because, you know, he's only got the 3-star. That's part of no meta. He looks to be not that great. Changes 2 greens into 2 oranges and an 80% pierce rate for 1 turn. It's not really that reliable. So, 30% damage against fire enemies for Wielder of Magic, and then he gives Tempest Elite and Wielder of Magic the 12% attack buff, which also I don't think we covered. Milim gives Octagram Demon Lord and Wielder of Magic the attack and defensive buffs. So that's that. We'll let's go ahead and watch the animations, and I'll turn myself down.
Then it's time Then it's time for round 4. It is secret.
全力でお供いたします。服従か死か選ぶがよい。ストライクロア。これは我が主に褒められてしまうな。
Then last.
Alright, I mean, the animations look good, but the actual character models, like, Ranga's actually looks pretty good, but, like, Milim and Shinsha, I'm not in love with. Just not in love with. But, you know, that's that. So these are the 4 units coming on the 28th, so tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we will get the new meta changeover. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really impressed. It's just a rehash of a Toa and Hakuro protector, and oranges again are so far and few between that orange orbs will be continually nerfed heavily for another 6 to 8 months until we get another orange meta maybe. So I really can't recommend summoning on it. We have speed type, charge type, and defense type. Yes. They're adding these characters to Wielder of Magic. When Diablo, Trainee, Dino, Geld, and Earth 2.0 Mirren, which I'm very surprised that she wasn't already on Wielder of Magic, but her EX counterpart is. Okay, so fine, whatever. But, these are, if they're being added to the category, which it means that these 4 units are going to be featured on the banners as well. So the new Milim and Shinsha will also have Diablo, Trainee, Dino, and Mirren featured alongside them, which I can't use Trainee. I need 1 more Diablo? I think 1 more Diablo? Yeah, no, I need 2 more Diablos. I need a lot of Mirrens and a lot of Dinos, and I don't need Trainee at all because she's done. Because she's the best one out of these. Well, she's the best one out of these 4 summonable units. And then they also are announcing some skill fusions for all of them except Geld because he's free to play, but they replaced it with Adelman. So I will have a separate video going over these skill fusions individually, or well, as a whole, but it'll be separate from this because I don't want to put too much time into it. But these 5 units are getting skill fusions: Diablo, Trainee, Dino, Adelman, and Mirren. They look to be meh. This is like the title screen. Here is the login bonus, so we get Ranga, 10 crystals right here, and then we have the beatdown battle against the Golem. So awesome. Character designs. Now going back through, and we have a few little bits of information to talk about. So here they've added the medium-low quality to games for people's devices who can't run quite as efficiently. Now we have a special announcement here. Sneak peek of the upcoming roadmap. Something exciting will happen each month, and we have started development on new content in preparation of the 3rd season of the anime. So someone asked a question on a Q&A a couple months ago, and they answered, and it takes about 8 months to develop a unit from start to finish. So the fact that they're starting now in October and it comes out in the spring, because we don't have an actual release date for season 3, so they are getting started in a relatively same kind of time frame. So this is good. This means that 1, they're projecting that the game is going to go for the 3rd season of the anime, which is another 5 months minimum, all the way through the 3rd season. So this game not shutting down anytime soon, to detract any of the haters out there. Not that there are that many, really. They just don't play the game and don't talk about it. But we have a special campaign going on every single month, which they didn't really announce anything. The JP version just had this labeled as the 2nd anniversary, which is true. But didn't really give any other details regarding the following months. Now, last year we had like the 100 major campaign celebration things that went on for 6 months or so. We don't have anything like that announced as of yet, but it is what it is. Here is the daily single for the skill fusion that we've talked about. Here's the login bonus. The Kaijin event is coming back. Can't really see the date, but it's coming back on Thursday, the 6th of October. So that will be, or no, Friday the 6th of October. No, it'll be coming Thursday the 5th of October, sorry. And then it will go until the 11th, which is the day before the anniversary technically begins. Officially, they have announced that. So, another Kaijin event. It's a really, really fast turnaround on Kaijin, which is good, because it means a lot of people will be able to farm this and get extra materials to awaken the anniversary characters. We have this coming on the 5th as well of October. It is a once per day guaranteed 5-star multi. Now, the only thing that they didn't say is if it was free or not. Because if we look at this one, once per day, free, right? Free is on this banner title. Free is not anywhere on this. So I assume that this banner will cost 300 crystals. You could do it once a day for a guaranteed 5-star. And once you do 3 multis, you can exchange it for a 5-star guaranteed ticket that has a 30% chance of being an EX character, which is Yom and Mirin, because it's a general pool banner. It's not like a meta-specific thing, and you can only use it on this banner. So every multi will give you at least 1 5-star, and then if you do 3 multis, you can exchange it for a ticket that will give you a 30% chance to be Yom or Mirin, so 15 and 15. I mean, Yom and Mirin are decent, especially for this, this defense meta we're coming out of. I would say they're both exceptional. Outside of that, though, they don't have too much use. So, I mean, we've got Hero, we've got Dark Reamer, we've got Toa, we've got Space Shion, so there's going to be a lot of units, all the way up into the general banner pool update is what it seems like. There's a lot of units on here. There's a lot of 5-stars to pull. You're guaranteed one. I don't know if it's worth it, to be perfectly honest, until we actually see the details of the banner itself. So, temper your expectations. And then we have this right here. So the 2nd anniversary countdown login bonus. This starts on the 5th of Friday, and it goes for 7 days. So if it starts on Thursday the 5th, and it ends on 10/12, which is the anniversary day, means that the anniversary is officially set to begin on the 12th of October. So it's going to act exactly like how the 1.5 anniversary went, where we got the Milim and Frey in March, right? And it went until late April. Shinsha and Milim are going to be here until October 30th. So they're going to be here from the 28th to the 30th of October, which is a long time. It's a full fucking month. However, they did go a 2-week gap in between Milim and Frey and the Shizun Hero, which they branded as the official start of the 1.5 anniversary. And this went until May 31st. And then when it actually, April 17th, cool. And then on April 27th, which was the half anniversary, official half anniversary date, they brought out Warrior's Mind, and that's when a full meta came. So we had, all these banners going at once, essentially. Well, no, we had Milim and Frey going until the next banner came out. But we still had a double featured unit banner, which was technically the final half of this meta, but also kind of tied in because it was branded as part 1 of the 1.5 anniversary. This was technically part 2. That is what I expect will happen here, is that we'll get Shinsha Milim, and then we'll go probably 2 weeks until the 12th or the 13th. They'll drop another banner, which will be the start of the 2-year anniversary. And then in October 27th will be the official, full-on meta of the 2-year anniversary. So I expect them to follow this same format to a T, almost. Just change the dates a little bit. So, is that good? I don't know. I think this meta is kind of a skip. So I don't think it's as powerful as this Milim and Frey banner are, because greens are just so very prominent. So, I mean, make of that what you will. But we do have hard confirmation that the anniversary does start on the 12th now. And then this is just the general pool update, which we already are aware of, that they're adding all the normal 5-star units will now be in the general pool, except the no EX characters. And then they're going to hold a survey in October for people who people want to see added to the game. And the JP version said unreleased characters. So there's going to be a survey asking you what characters from Slime as a whole, Tensura, do we not have in the game that you want to see? So, Roy Valentine, Father Midray as an actual battle character, the clowns, the moderate Harlequin Alliance characters, people who have not been released thus far into Slimy Sky Memories, they're going to give you a survey, be like, who do you want? And they're going to take that, and they're going to implement the highest person. So this is your chance to get some of those other characters that don't have as much screen time, a unit. So, I mean, that's cool and everything. And then we also have a new event coming out in mid-October, which is probably for the quote-unquote official start of the 2-year anniversary. Existing 5-star and distributed 4-star characters will play an active... Someone didn't spell check this. Will play an active role in a new quest, and players will be able to receive 5-star EX Memory Stone shards. So you can see we've got free-to-play Eren, Soe, the Rimuru, and then we've got old protectors. So this is probably going to be a team-limited event centered around the older protection units and the free-to-play protection units. Which is fine, because we get 5-star shards out of it, and these are literally free. So it's not like you don't have them. Some of these older ones, you may or may not have them, just because it's so hard to pull some units from the general pool, because it's so inflated now. But, hey, free 5-star shards. This is a dupe, right? I believe in the JP livestream, they said we'll get 5 each. I may be mistaken there. Is the JP livestream over? It is not fucking over. Oh, it is over. Okay, good. We can go to that soon. But, I mean, free stuff is free stuff, right? And then here is the official announcement that we will have a collab with the OVA, Visions of Coleus. Then details and start dates will be announced at a later date. This comes out on November 1st, so I would expect this collab to happen in November. So, the end of November, probably, when it is all out, unless they make this the 2-year anniversary theme, because this comes out on the 1st of November, which, if the 2-year anniversary technically starts on the 27th of October, that would, not very far from the 1st of November. So there are a couple possibilities as to what the anniversary could actually bring us. It could be related to Visions of Coleus. It could be something totally different, and we won't get that until the meta changes over at the end of October going into December. I don't actually know. But let me make a quick cut, and let me go find some of the other stuff in the JP livestream. Alright, so here's something that the Global didn't talk about, is that they're updating the Seeds of Growth shop in October, so you can buy 5-star guaranteed tickets with a 10% chance to be, I believe this is a protector ticket. So, I mean, hey, Seeds of Growth shop is absolute garbage right now. And I know a lot of people don't even have a lot because people shouldn't be, sitting on a lot of it. But, I mean, I've got 1,800 points, and I want to buy absolutely nothing from this shop. So the fact that, though, we're going to be able to buy 5-star tickets of any kind, realistically, is good. Now, I don't know what this means right here. This says Scout 1, Scout 2, and Scout 3. So maybe the first ticket costs 30, the next one costs 12, and the next one costs 6. Or this is talking about summons, where the first summon you now get 30 pity, and then it starts cutting down the more and more you summon. I don't actually know, and it doesn't explain it. So we're going to have to see in-game when this gets released how this whole Seeds of Growth shop works, the revamp works, and how many tickets you can buy versus how much it costs. Again, they don't really talk about it, and this is not a lot of information that's good to try and make any assumptions out of. Alright, and for the end of this video, here are going to be some gameplay for the Beatdown battle. Now, one thing to immediately make note of is that it looks like this boss seals body and spirit changing skills, nerfs blues, and oranges. So turn 1, he doesn't nerf anything, but I believe turn 2 he does seal body and spirit changing skills, which means Vengeance will be rather difficult to work with here, which is kind of unfortunate. But as if we look at this, so we have 2 orbs. This is a Hinata orb change, right? 1 green and 1 blue. However, because all of these units are on the Wielder of Magic category, Ranga's orb change will actually convert both of these into 2 oranges, which means that we have a full hand of green or oranges without needing to bring Hinata. As long as the units that are up front are Wielder of Magic, it will change those 2. If one of them is not, it's only going to change 1 orb. So that's kind of the downside. But, oh well. Looks to be, like, kinda not too tanky, but I highly doubt they're taking on Inferno right here. So, but then here comes the seal. This is the body and spirit changing seal on turn 2. And I want to see if it actually hits everyone in the back as well. So, come on. 803,000 HP. Alright, so Milim, remember, does a 3 and 3 to 6 orange orb change, guaranteed pierce, and 40 skill points. The boss has physical resistance and crit resistance, so none of that is going to be totally effective here. So, I mean, it is another magic meta, which makes sense. But, I mean, there's a lot of units that give pierce now. A lot of magic units that can do pierce. So, I don't know why he brought Rain. Like, I get the magic buff, but at the same time... Oh, okay. So the seal does hit the back line as well. Because, you know, Hero and Leon weren't up front for that, but they have been sealed as well. So it looks like turn 1 you'll be able to use, like, Vengeance, but that's it. So, I mean, you could use maybe the Raphael to guard and then bring, like, Protector Velzard and maybe get away with it because he's going to hit you. But as far as continuously, efficiently stacking up Vengeance, probably not going to be totally useful. I'm still going to try it, right? Because there's still a chance that it could work. But this is a very orange-focused burst damage meta, not meant to tank. Not saying you can't, but it's built for different things. So, Shinsha, right here, is buffing the orb damage and the protection gauge buff on oranges. So let's see how much the 6 orb does. It's like 3/4 of a protector gauge on a 6 hand of blues. Yeah, I'd probably be running like the protection gauge on blue charm as well to double up on that. But here, so she may use her buff here, her alt buff, but again, it's only for EX alts. So this should not apply to Ranga if she even decides to use it right now, which is kind of unfortunate, and it does restrict her. So let's see if she does use it or not. Leon is changing his orbs to orange. Okay, cool. He's going to... This is skill fused. Alright, so yeah. Shinsha will use her buff right here. And I want to see it. Alright, there's that. That's, yeah, he's skill fused, so he's got alt resistance down. Yep. Okay, so notice how only Shinsha has the alt buff marker now down here. Ranga, because he doesn't have an EX alt and has no way to get an EX alt, he does not benefit at all from the buff, which is, again, highly restrictive, have to be a magic unit, has to be an EX alt. Like, there is no other way around it. If you bring the hero and it's a normal alt, you ain't getting shit from this skill. So it is kind of unfortunate. It makes me kind of not too high on her. But again, if she's the primary DPS of the meta, then she's the only one that I really actually care about getting an EX alt. So it does make sense for her as a DPS unit, but not as a decent support for other teams, which I wouldn't probably bring her for support because we have so many other alt buffers in this game now. There's no reason to restrict it. And it's only 50%, right? The good thing is it costs 25 points, so it is very cheap. So there's that. But I mean, you have this body and spirit changing debuff seal on like the entire time. So the only way you're gonna get stacks of vengeance is with Velzard and getting counterattacks. So if you don't have Velzard, you're not really gonna be able to use vengeance on this meta to kill this beatdown at least. But 190k is not a lot of damage, but we can certainly optimize it for, you know, more. Certainly there are things we can do, but and that's the initial outlook of it. That might have been Inferno 1. Okay, well, whatever. But I think that's gonna do it for the video. Nothing else that was covered in the JP live stream was new. Just the few things that we talked about. But let me know what you guys think about this meta. I'm fairly certain it's a pretty easy skip, but you know, give me your thoughts. That's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.